I just pulled into my driveway. I'm home. Thank God. What a night I had last night, man. The mistakes that I made last night. Wow. Monster job. We upgraded 800 amps to 1200 amps in an older warehouse, and we just could not get the power to stay on. And it turned out that there were so many ground fault issues, and that's the purpose of the video. Guys, you must check for ground faults in a commercial building before you upgrade the service. You know, originally it was 800 amps and under, was a ground fault main is not needed. Well, we upgraded to 1200 amps and a ground fault main is required. Well, it was tons of ground faults, so that's the purpose of the video. Check for ground faults, because when you go to a customer and you bid on a project to upgrade something, they just want the power back on, all right? I mean, you can make these unbelievable videos of this great wiring and everything's level and cut in and it's just a work of art. That means nothing if the system doesn't go back on. And that's the lesson of this video I wanted to make. So I didn't even think about ground fault. Didn't even think about, okay, I'm going to be putting in a ground fault main breaker. Is that going to hold? And it didn't hold. And now I have to handle the customer professionally. I have to calm the customer down, who's got hundreds and hundreds of employees showing up at 6 a.m. and there's no power. Everybody's in a panic. They're breathing down your neck. What's going on? What's going on? All they care about is power on. So I turned all the loads off, boom, turn the main on, no problem. Start turning loads on, pow, right? Well, and it was on a couple of different mains. If I turned on, a certain section over here, a 600 breaker there, So this is a big facility that had a lot of sub-panels. A lot of guys' hands were inside there. So it was easy for me to go, what the fuck, man? What other electrician was in here? Geez, OP, what's going on? And that is a challenge when you're a small independent electrical contractor like myself. They take a chance on you. And when something like this happens, they don't care what it is. It's you're the problem. The power was on when you got there. The power better be on when you leave. And that's the responsibility that we take as electricians. And that's the mistake that I made, and that's the mistake I want to share with you so it doesn't happen to you. So what do? Well, if I had a brain, I would have checked for ground fault prior. I would have inspected the facility better to look around and see if there's wiring issues inside the building. I didn't. I just got the job, ordered the gear. I made sure everything was planned right. I had United Rentals emergency number. I had my supply house emergency number. I had another backup supply house emergency number. I had everything planned. I had a nice detailed package and timeline. The customer loved it. They approved it. And we get to the end and pop, pop, pop. And we turned out that we found some old lighting that was connected. The neutral was literally connected to a beam clamp to the building steel. So we ended up isolating those, and now we might be able to get more work. I don't know. So we left those off to get them on. So the point of the video is be thorough, be detailed, but also learn how to handle these customers that are all over you. Now, I get it. The big union companies, they could just be like, hey, I'm just an electrician. But when you're a small guy and it's you, how do you handle that? How do you keep that customer coming back? And that's the challenge of being a successful electrical contractor. See you on the next one. I'm going to bed.